I submit this report with the gravest concerns for our collective security. What follows is a comprehensive analysis of human military capabilities based on our initial encounters and subsequent intelligence gathering. I must emphasize that all previous threat assessments regarding this species have been catastrophically underestimated. First contact with the human civilization occurred 14 cycles ago, when our exploratory vessel Eternal Seeker encountered their orbital defense platform near the third planet of the Sol system. Initial scans revealed a technologically immature species, approximately Class 3 on the Viridian Advancement Scale, seemingly incapable of meaningful resistance against our Class 8 civilization. What our initial assessments failed to recognize was the fundamental difference in technological evolution paths. While the collective progressed linearly through gravitational manipulation, quantum entanglement communication, and mental enhancement technologies, humans developed along an entirely different technological tree, prioritizing what they call brute force solutions and redundant systems. Their orbital defense platform exemplifies this approach. When our diplomatic vessel approached, sensors detected primitive chemical-propelled projectile weapons, laser guidance systems, and nuclear deterrence, technologies the collective abandoned centuries ago as inefficient. Nevertheless, Captain Urilvox reported that simulations showed the platform could have inflicted significant damage to our diplomatic vessel, despite our technological superiority. The humans call this platform International Space Station Alpha. It is merely their first line of defense. What lies beyond has proven far more concerning. Upon establishing communication, humans demonstrated unexpected linguistic adaptability, mastering our communication protocols within hours rather than the projected weeks. They welcomed our delegation to their planetary surface, an invitation we now understand was a calculated display of military might disguised as hospitality. The landing zone, a facility called United Nations Spaceport, was surrounded by various military vehicles and personnel from multiple human factions. Intelligence Officer Trenlack noted over 30 distinct weapon systems visible during our initial descent. Humans made no attempt to conceal these weapons, a behavior our cultural analysts initially misinterpreted as primitive threat display rather than the deliberate demonstration it was. The most disturbing aspect of human weaponry became apparent during our cultural exchange ceremony. When a malfunctioning service drone moved erratically near a human leader, their security personnel responded with astonishing speed. Before our sensors fully registered the movement, 3 humans had positioned themselves protectively, brandishing handheld weapons that our scans revealed to be simple chemical propellant firearms. These weapons, designated as pistols in human terminology, are remarkably primitive. They use controlled explosions to propel metal projectiles at high velocity. What makes them concerning is not their technology, but their effectiveness despite their simplicity. Even with our advanced defensive capabilities, the kinetic energy of these projectiles would penetrate our standard field protection. More alarmingly, when our delegation expressed interest in examining these weapons, the humans readily displayed an array of variations. Officer Trenlack documented over 50 different designs of these pistols alone, suggesting a culture with disturbing dedication to weapons development and diversity. The humans possess a military doctrine centered on adaptability and overwhelming force. During our visit to what they termed a limited military installation, we observed training exercises involving various terrain types, environmental conditions, and tactical scenarios. Their military personnel train not for optimal conditions, but for worst-case scenarios, fighting while injured, with limited resources, or against superior numbers. Most concerning was a demonstration of their orbital defense capabilities. From a control center deep within a mountain, human operators showed us their kinetic bombardment system. Simple tungsten rods dropped from orbit that accelerate through gravity to impact with force comparable to our advanced energy weapons, but without any detectable energy signature until impact. They call these weapons rods from God, a religious reference that our cultural analysts are still processing. The humans have developed countless variations of projectile weapons, from handheld firearms to vehicle-mounted cannons, each designed for specific combat scenarios. Their naval vessels, massive ships that traverse their water-covered regions, carry missiles capable of striking targets thousands of kilometers away. Their atmospheric craft can deliver explosive payloads with precision that rivals our targeting systems. What makes human weapons particularly dangerous is their focus on redundancy and simplicity. When our delegation questioned why humans maintain outdated weapons alongside more advanced ones, their military leader, General Alexandra Volkov, responded with a statement our translators initially struggled to interpret: EMP-hardened bullets don't need batteries. This philosophy permeates human military thinking. Their weapons work in environments that would render our technology inoperable. They maintain analog systems alongside digital ones. They train to fight without advanced targeting, without communication networks, without sensor arrays, conditions under which collective forces have never operated. I must emphasize a concerning observation. Humans appear to genuinely enjoy the challenge of overcoming technological superiority through ingenuity. During a tactical demonstration, human forces disabled sensor-equipped drones using nothing more than reflective material and directed sound. When asked about this capability, their tactical officer responded, "We've been preparing for alien invasion since before we had electricity." This statement was followed by laughter among the humans present, but our emotional analysts detected no deception. Before concluding this initial assessment, I must report on perhaps the most disturbing aspect of human military capability: their nuclear arsenal. While the collective banned planet-killing weapons centuries ago as fundamentally irrational, humans maintain thousands of thermonuclear devices capable of rendering their own planet uninhabitable. When questioned about this seeming irrationality, their diplomatic representative simply stated, "Mutually assured destruction is the ultimate peace treaty." This philosophy, that peace is maintained through the threat of total annihilation, runs counter to all collective psychological models. Further study is urgently required to understand how a species could evolve with such seemingly contradictory approaches to survival. My recommendation to the Council is immediate. We must approach humans with extreme caution. Despite their lower technological classification, their combat capabilities and tactical thinking present a significant threat. Additional intelligence gathering is essential before considering any action that might be interpreted as hostile. I have dispatched specialized assessment teams to continue observation of human military installations through covert means. A follow-up report on their battlefield doctrine and strategic capabilities will follow in the next transmission. Council members, this assessment follows my initial report on human military capabilities. In the intervening period, our intelligence efforts have intensified following an incident in the Proxima system that can only be described as calamitous for collective forces. As authorized by the Council, Exploration Fleet Delta 7 attempted to establish a research outpost on the fourth planet of the Proxima system, unaware that humans had already placed a small scientific expedition on the surface. What followed was not the diplomatic incident our models predicted, but a full military engagement that has forced a complete reassessment of human battlefield capabilities. First, I must acknowledge a critical intelligence failure. Our initial assessment categorized humans as primarily defensive in posture with limited interstellar capabilities. We now know this was catastrophically incorrect. Humans have established military presence in 17 star systems through what they term colony ships, vessels that are ostensibly civilian but convert to military platforms with alarming speed. When our exploration fleet approached the human expedition on Proxima IV, they were met with immediate encrypted communications. When our commander delayed response while awaiting translation matrices, the humans interpreted this as hostile intent. What followed demonstrates the essence of human battlefield doctrine: rapid escalation, overwhelming force, and technological flexibility that defies conventional analysis. The first principle of human combat that became apparent is their tiered response system. The scientific expedition, despite numbering only 27 individuals, deployed a series of increasingly effective countermeasures. Tier 1. Electronic warfare systems flooded our standard communication frequencies with what appeared to be random noise, but which our analysts later determined contained embedded viruses designed to corrupt navigational systems. Tier 2. Automated defense turrets emerged from what our scans had registered as geological formations. These weapons utilized simple railgun technology, electromagnetically accelerated projectiles, that nonetheless penetrated the shields of our scout vessels due to their unexpected velocity. Tier 3. The expedition deployed what humans classify as Guardian defense systems, ground-based lasers that targeted our vessels' sensor arrays with precision that suggests extensive pre-planning for extraterrestrial confrontation. When Fleet Commander Elkstor ordered a tactical retreat to reassess, the humans executed the most concerning aspect of their doctrine. They pursued. 3 vessels emerged from concealed underground hangars, spacecraft our initial scans had entirely missed due to their minimal energy signatures. These craft, designated Sparrowhawk-class interceptors in human terminology, demonstrated maneuverability that defy our tactical models. The interceptors employed what humans call cold launch technology, engines that remain dormant until clear of planetary atmosphere, rendering them virtually undetectable until already in attack position. Once engaged, these vessels revealed weapons systems specifically designed to target our standard shield configurations. Most disturbing was their electronic warfare capability. Despite being technologically inferior by collective standards, human systems penetrated our information security protocols with ease. Intelligence Officer Vryn Toll's analysis suggests they accomplished this not through superior technology, but through intentionally unpredictable programming methods. In her report, she states, "Human coding architecture appears deliberately chaotic, employing multiple contradictory protocols simultaneously. When our systems attempted to predict and counter their electronic attacks based on initial patterns, the human systems shifted to entirely different methodologies without discernible transition periods. This suggests their combat systems are designed specifically to counter predictive defense algorithms." The engagement lasted 17 minutes. The results: 2 collective vessels severely damaged, 1 scout ship destroyed, and the complete loss of our intended research outpost. Human casualties: none confirmed. When diplomatic channels were eventually established, the human commander, Colonel Eliza Santos, explained that her expedition had been operating under what they term Rules of Engagement Alpha 7, which authorized preemptive defensive measures against any unidentified spacecraft that approached without proper communication protocols. This incident reveals several critical aspects of human battlefield doctrine. Humans do not distinguish between civilian and military operations in frontier regions. Every expedition is equipped for combat, regardless of its stated scientific or exploratory purpose. Their tactical responses are designed to escalate rapidly from warning to disabling to destroying opposing forces, with transition times measured in seconds rather than the deliberative period standard in collective military doctrine. Human weapons technology, while often primitive in design, is employed with a sophistication that suggests extensive preparation for interspecies conflict. Most concerning, humans appear to have designed their military systems specifically to counter technologically superior opponents through unpredictability, redundancy, and what they term asymmetric warfare. Following this incident, our deep cover intelligence assets on human worlds have reported accelerated military preparation throughout their sphere of influence. Intercepted communications refer to the Proxima incident as a first contact scenario and confirmation of hostile intent. Despite diplomatic efforts to classify the encounter as a misunderstanding, human military forces are now operating at what they term DEFCON 3, a heightened alert status. Our analysis of human military installations has revealed further capabilities previously unknown to the collective. Most significant among these is what humans designate the ODN system, Orbital Defense and Interdiction Network. While our initial assessment detected only primitive defense satellites around Earth, we now understand these were merely the visible components of a much more extensive network. The ODIN system combines thousands of minimal signature kinetic kill vehicles in unpredictable orbits, ground-based energy weapons concealed within civilian installations, and submarine-launched aerospace platforms that remain submerged in Earth's oceans until needed. This multilayered defense network is controlled through a quantum-encrypted command system that operates independently of their civilian network infrastructure. Of particular concern is the human approach to space combat. Unlike collective doctrine, which emphasizes capital ships with concentrated firepower, humans have developed swarm tactics utilizing thousands of small, expendable craft they call drones. These unmanned vehicles require no life support systems and can therefore sustain acceleration forces that would be lethal to biological pilots. In simulated engagements, our tactical AI estimates that a full human drone swarm could overwhelm a collective battlecruiser's defense systems through sheer numerical advantage, despite their technological inferiority. Human ground forces demonstrate equally concerning capabilities. Their infantry units train extensively in environments deliberately designed to neutralize technological advantages. Dense urban centers, electromagnetic disruption zones, extreme weather conditions, and subterranean complexes. Their combat doctrine emphasizes what they term force multiplication through environmental manipulation, trapping technologically superior opponents in conditions that render advanced systems ineffective. I must also report on human biological warfare capabilities, which exceed all ethical boundaries established by the collective accords. While officially banned by their own international treaties, our intelligence has confirmed the existence of multiple research facilities dedicated to what humans euphemistically term strategic biological deterrence. These facilities maintain engineered pathogens designed to target specific biological systems while leaving infrastructure intact, a clear preparation for interspecies conflict. My recommendation to the Council remains unchanged, but is now of greater urgency. Direct confrontation with humans must be avoided at all costs until we fully understand their capabilities and limitations. The incident at Proxima IV was a limited engagement with a small human expedition. A full-scale conflict with their primary military forces would have consequences I cannot confidently predict with our current intelligence. I have authorized our remaining covered assets to focus exclusively on human strategic capabilities and command structure. A final assessment will follow once this intelligence is compiled. Council members, I transmit this final assessment under extreme duress. Much of the collective's intelligence network on human worlds has been compromised. Of our original 1,734 covered operatives, only 89 remain active and undetected. The rest have been identified by human counterintelligence or have gone silent under circumstances that suggest termination. The escalation began when human forces detected our observation posts in their Centauri colonies. Rather than the diplomatic objection our models predicted, they launched what they term a preemptive defensive campaign against all collective assets within their sphere of influence. The results have been catastrophic for our intelligence-gathering capabilities and have revealed strategic dimensions of human military doctrine that demand immediate attention from the Council. The most significant revelation is that humans have been aware of the collective's existence for far longer than we realized. Recovered communications indicate they detected our long-range observation vessels near their solar system approximately 70 Earth years ago, well before official first contact. During this time, they have been methodically studying our technology, communication patterns, and social structure through means our security protocols fail to detect. This prolonged observation explains their tactical responses, which have been tailored specifically to exploit weaknesses in collective military doctrine. The humans call this know your enemy principle a fundamental aspect of their strategic thinking, and it has proven devastatingly effective. The full extent of human military capability has now been revealed through direct engagement. What follows are the key findings that must inform the Council's response. Human space warfare doctrine. Contrary to our initial assessment, humans possess advanced spacecraft with capabilities that approach collective technology in several critical areas. Their primary battle platforms, designated Thunderhead-class carriers, serve as mobile launch bases for thousands of autonomous combat drones. These carriers remain at extreme range while their drone swarms engage our forces, making targeting the command vessels nearly impossible. When our fleet attempted to neutralize a human military installation in the Epsilon Eridani system, they encountered what humans designate as a defense-in-depth strategy. Multiple layers of automated defenses, decoy targets, and concealed weapon platforms extracted an unacceptable cost before our forces even engaged their primary fleet. Most concerning was the revelation of human FTL interdiction technology. Using principles our scientists had deemed theoretically impossible, human defensive systems created localized disruptions in subspace that forced our vessels to revert to normal space at predetermined coordinates, directly into their firing solutions. This technology alone represents a strategic advantage that nullifies the collective's superior navigational capabilities. Human ground warfare doctrine. In the limited ground engagements that occurred on contested worlds, human forces demonstrated combat effectiveness that defies their technological classification. Their infantry units employ powered exoskeletons that enhance physical capabilities while remaining impervious to our standard electronic countermeasures due to their hybrid digital-analog control systems. These ground forces operate under a doctrine humans call distributed command authority, which allows units to function autonomously when communications are disrupted. Unlike collective forces, which require constant connection to strategic AI for optimal performance, human combat teams continue operating at high efficiency even when completely isolated. Most problematic for our conventional forces are human special operations units, small teams of extensively augmented individuals who employ a combination of technology and biological enhancements. These units have successfully infiltrated and neutralized collective installations that our security algorithms classified as impenetrable. They accomplish this through what humans term creative problem-solving, approaches so unconventional that our predictive models fail to anticipate them. Human strategic weapons. I must now address the most troubling aspect of human military capability: weapons of mass destruction that exceed anything in the collective arsenal. Beyond their thermonuclear devices, humans have developed what they call planet crackers, kinetic impact weapons dropped from hyperspace that strike with energy equivalent to extinction-level asteroid impacts. Intelligence has confirmed 3 such weapons in their arsenal, designated Mem-Joel-Nair systems, after a mythological weapon from their cultural history. These devices are maintained in constant readiness, capable of deployment against any world within 100 light-years of Earth within hours. Even more concerning are indications of experimental weapons that manipulate fundamental physical constants within a localized area. Our science directorate has reviewed the limited data available and concluded that such weapons could theoretically render an entire star system uninhabitable without leaving radiation or other detectable evidence of artificial cause. The human designation for this research program, Prometheus, references a mythological figure who stole fire from their gods, suggesting their awareness of its civilization-ending potential. Human psychology and determination. Beyond specific weapon systems, the most dangerous aspect of human military capability is their psychological response to perceived threats. Unlike collective species, which evolved primarily through cooperation, humans evolved as persistence predators with deep-rooted competitive instincts. When confronted with technologically superior opposition, humans do not respond with the submission that our evolutionary models would predict. Instead, they demonstrate what they term backs-against-the-wall psychology, a dramatic increase in cooperation, innovation, and willingness to accept casualties that would be deemed unacceptable in collective strategic doctrine. Intercepts from their military communication indicate a species-wide rallying effect. Following the initial confrontations with our forces, their industrial production has shifted to military applications with efficiency that our economic models deemed impossible for a non-centralized government. Their scientific research has focused exclusively on countering observed collective technology, with breakthrough development cycles reduced from years to weeks. Most alarmingly, human diplomatic communication has ceased entirely. In its place, they have transmitted a single message on all frequencies used by collective vessels. The message, translated from their dominant language, states, "Your unprovoked aggression against human settlements has been catalogued. Diplomatic resolution remains available for exactly 30 Earth days. After this period, humanity will respond with full defensive measures until all threat capabilities are neutralized. This is your only warning." Our strategic assessment I calculates the probability of collective military forces prevailing in sustained conflict with humans at less than 23%, with confidence intervals declining rapidly as human production capacity expands. This assessment assumes commitment of 78% of total collective military resources, which would leave our core worlds dangerously exposed to other potential adversaries. My final recommendation to the Council is unequivocal. Immediate cessation of all hostile actions against human worlds, withdrawal of all military assets from human-claimed territories, and dispatch of highest-level diplomatic representatives authorized to offer significant concessions. The alternative, a prolonged conflict with a species that views extinction as preferable to submission, cannot be recommended under any strategic calculation. Alert. Transmission interrupted. Detecting approaching human strike craft. Initiating emergency protocols. Transmission TRMINATT. Automated system NOTIC. This report is flagged for immediate High Council review. Based on available data, a strategic emergency session is automatically scheduled per Protocol Omega-7.